Okay. Hopefully this updated the titles. Anyway, so the titles for tonight is what should I fix on my home? So what should I fix on my home? Because when Ryan and Melissa came to us, they had a really nice bungalow actually.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, it was actually really super cute. Um, but what?
It was a bit small for them.
Well, except for they had developed
they
the whole
wanted-
upstairs of the bungalow. That was
Yeah.
one of the things they had done. They had bought it
They had
really
they had done
inexpensively.
the upstairs really, really well.
Yeah. So when they bought the
But
bungalow,
he
it didn't
also-
have any
he
square footage
had
upstairs.
opportunity of a new job.
Yeah, so they were needing to move out of the area. So it wasn't like it was a move that they had really planned. Both their families were here. They
No,
were
it is.
well, her family was here, I should say. His family was up north, which is actually where the job opportunity came from.
Mm-hmm.
So they were moving up north, but it wasn't really like they had planned to move up north. But
Yeah, they hadn't really scouted out, properties to buy or anything like that.
well, and they had to sell their home
so-
to buy.
Yeah.
And they also they had to go because he had not had he didn't have a job down here that was
Well, he ended
steady.
up having to go before the
Well,
rest
he had
of
a
the
job.
family.
Okay,
as
so he
well.
had been a manager at a fast food, not a
Yeah.
fast food, but like a franchise.
Yeah.
And then during COVID had lost that job, had picked up another job right away, but it wasn't what he was trained in and it wasn't in a managerial type thing. So he had
Yeah.
kept his hand in business, so he was still had gainful employment. But of course then he was looking out for stuff that was like actually what he did for a living. And Melissa was a stay-at-home mom to their two boys, adorable
Yep.
little kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so, his job obviously was very important because she was a stay-at-home mom. And yeah, so it was like a little bit,
And he got a great job
got a
opportunity.
great opportunity up north. But the problem is that the job started before they were even able to put their house
Before
in the
the
market.
for their sale and that.
Yeah. So the
So-
job started the job started like 2 weeks after we met them, and their house wasn't ready even when we met them to go on the market. But he just kind of busted himself
He
for
did,
2 weeks.
yeah.
He just killed himself every evening because he was still at home at that point, and they really got
And
it up.
then the following week, he had to come home for a couple of days during the week just to finish it off.
Yeah, just to
'cause-
finish everything off,
Yeah.
basically. Yep. And the reason, so what we're going to focus on though tonight is, let me read their review that they wrote us afterwards. Kim and Russ were absolutely amazing. They were very understanding and explained the selling process thoroughly to us. Kim was able to connect us with great resources to help get our home in top condition. I can't talk. To help get our home in top condition to put on the market. And this is before this spring when everything was going crazy. Within 2 weeks, we had multiple offers. I'll definitely recommend anyone in the area. So, which was awesome. I just loved that
Yeah.
review. That was a really nice review for them and appreciated it very much. But I thought the thing we would focus on tonight for our like little 15 minutes of fame type thing that we have here is focus on the connecting with great resources because
Yeah.
we actually this spring kind of changed some of our stuff. And now we don't even have, we used to call it like a buyer consultation, which sounded really formal and everything. But we realized that wasn't really what it was.
No, it was more we're connecting people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with services, say for instance you're not a painter and you
Right.
need someone to paint your walls.
Right.
Well, we can provide details of people that are good at doing that job.
Yeah.
If you need someone to install drywall, we know people that are good at that as well.
If you need to take out some old carpet or you need
Yeah.
to put in some new carpet,
Yeah, we
those
have
are resources.
available. We have people.
Electricians, plumbers.
Not only do we just recommend them, some of them we've used ourselves.
Well, to be honest, any of them I would use myself.
Yes. Yeah.
The only reason I haven't used some of them myself
Mm-hmm.
and ourselves, the only reason we haven't used them before is strictly because we haven't needed their services.
No.
Like if I needed
But like
a plumber,
electrical, we've had an
We had Don's-
electrician.
we had Don's Electric.
Don's Electric do our whole house.
yeah, came in and completely redid everything in our house, put in a new panel, new wiring,
Yeah.
ran electric to our garage, and like that. We've had Shannon from Color Tile, from
Fitted
Carpets.
the carpet.
Carpets plus Color Tile.
Yeah.
They came in and did carpets upstairs for us in our bedrooms, which it was amazing because for like 7 years I had not had carpets
Yeah,
upstairs.
it was just subfloor upstairs.
It was just subfloor because we'd ripped out the old stuff because it was really nasty. But we had never put anything down because we hadn't decided what we wanted and we didn't want to make that investment. And all of a sudden I was in Shannon's shop one day for a customer and they were pricing things up and I went, that carpet is that cheap? And he went, well, yeah, it's not the top-notch carpet.
No.
But it was like,
But
wait a
it's
second.
so much nicer than
We can
what
afford
had.
that easily. Like that was
Yeah.
totally like easy. And I thought, you know what? If this carpet only lasts us 4 or 5 years, that was good. At that price, I was like, we could have the whole of our upstairs carpeted, and it made a huge, huge difference.
It did.
I mean, the
And so, yeah.
the sound alone changed. Like now, when you walk upstairs, and once you hit the landing at the top of the stairs, it's like everything gets nice and quiet.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you want in a bedroom.
So yeah, it deadens the sound, so it's really good.
So
Shannon
Shannon
Shannon does their carpet.
Yep.
Who else have we used?
We had Bob for our staircase.
Yeah,
the Wood
Bob
Guru.
from the Wood Guru.
Yep, out of the Burlington area.
Rebuilt our staircase.
Yep.
But we have lots of vendors that we know of or have
We've
used.
had Lou, we've had
for-
Sergio
yeah.
do drywall and paint for us in the
Uh-huh.
past. If I needed a plumber, because we've actually been able to do most of our plumbing stuff because we kind of know plumbing, and in the city of Racine, if you're just replacing plumbing, the homeowner can do it themselves. If you are adding plumbing fixtures, well, then you're required to pull a permit, but all of our stuff has just been repair so far. And because we haven't done our main bathroom.
Yeah.
When we do our main bathroom, we'll probably be
We'll
hiring
probably
Chris.
be hiring Chris the plumber.
Right. And the reason for that is because he's done such a good job for our clients. I should probably put the camera on me if I'm doing the majority of the talking at that point. So if it comes to plumbing, we're going to go with Chris the plumber. Now, don't get me wrong. There's other good plumbing and stuff like that. There's Wisconsin Fuel has helped us out a lot with our customers for heating. I also like First Call for heating
First
and cooling.
Call are really good for...
Yep. They've always done well by our customers. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. So really happy with First Call. Really happy with Wisconsin Fuel. They helped with Tim and Anna's down in Kenosha, and they did a really great job. So there's just these various vendors that we've worked with in the past, and because we've worked with them in the past, and they've been so excellent for our customers, we know that we can trust them
We can recommend them
to other customers.
And we only recommend people that we've either used for our clients or used ourselves, and
with success.
they've had rave reviews from those people. So they're the people that we want to link you up with to connect you with.
Yeah.
If you need something done.
Yeah. And that makes sense because, and that's the whole thing is, I think that, and you and I agree that a lot of what we think a real estate agent does is not only are we there to handhold you through the whole transaction, but we're also there to connect you with the resources you need.
Yeah.
And we don't recommend people strictly because they're the cheapest.
Oh, no.
And why
No.
is that? But we don't also recommend someone just because they're the most expensive or the best
No.
branded.
We recommend them on the quality of the work and their excellence.
Yes.
You know, excellent service. That's what
So that's one of our core values on
Yeah.
our team is that
is excellence.
right. Excellence is one of those
And
core
in
values.
actual fact, if somebody doesn't perform to an excellent level and we hear about it, they no longer get recommended by us.
And we unfortunately have had that happen before.
We have.
It's happened with a home inspector.
Yeah.
There's a couple of home inspectors that we've never recommended, but we've had experience with them, who we caution people do not go anywhere near them because they write such poor reports
Yeah.
that we can't negotiate. Like the reports are so poorly written
They're so poorly written.
that we can't even negotiate with them. Like it's
I
just not even
actually
possible.
called in
But they're cheap. But
on
they're
one
cheap.
occasion, I called this inspector because I wanted to question something,
Yep.
and he changed the whole report.
I know, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be able to influence an inspector to change a report, especially when you weren't even
But
trying to
it
do
was
that.
like on the summary it said everything was good, and when you read the report it said things were bad. And I said, well, what is it? Is it good or is it bad? Did you pre-write this and then all of a sudden you write this
Slapped
other
a
bit.
name on the front of it.
Yeah, it's like
You were at the inspection.
I
for
was
that one.
there.
You were there at the inspection, and he was telling you things. So we want to make sure that the resources we give you are great resources, but also not give you resources or warn you against resources out there that are actually going to harm you.
Yeah.
Things that are not going to be in your best interest.
We're there to protect you, and that's what our ultimate
And look,
goal is. We want to
we can't
protect you
people
and give
from
you
everything.
a smooth service.
Right. We can't protect everybody from everything.
No.
That's just not going to happen.
No, we can't do that for ourselves, let alone other people. But
Right.
we try to make things go as smoothly as possible
Yes.
and to give you the best resources available
Yes.
at that time.
Absolutely. And so we definitely want to connect people with
Yeah,
great
at the end of the
resources.
day, it's still up to you who you choose to hire.
Absolutely.
But these are we can connect you. If you don't have somebody available, we have the resources to connect you with.
And I think that was one of the big things for Melissa and Ryan is that we
Yeah.
connected them with resources that helped them. So they ended up doing some things in their kitchen. Ended up doing some work in their kitchen. We connected them with resources to get rid of the carpet. They had some carpet in their downstairs area, and the carpet was in really bad shape in the dining room. In the dining room, it was really bad. In the living room, it was kind of bad. Like, it was a little bit rucked up, but not terrible.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, let's pull up the first half. Let's pull up the dining room and see what that looks like. And they pulled up the dining room, and it was like, okay, they weren't the best wood floors in the world, but they weren't
But they
bowing.
certainly weren't the worst.
They weren't bowing. They weren't completely covered in paint, like paint spattered
No.
and everything. They were just probably could use renewing, but
Yeah.
they were actually really good.
They could be
hardwood
refinished,
floors.
but they were really
Yeah.
good oak hardwood floors. And so they decided to tear up the rest of the carpet
Yep.
and then wish they'd done it years before because
Yes.
they loved the look and, it was so much better.
I'm gonna try a new effect
Oh,
there.
you flipped me round.
I flipped us around. I know. Wasn't that fun?
I'm all dizzy now.
I was demonstrating some of the stuff to Russ earlier, so I thought,
Yeah.
let's see. We'll see what we can do.
I like the
What, the wipe?
no, the square cube one.
Oh, that's the one I just did. The cube zoom.
Yeah,
Boom. That one.
that one.
That one right there.
Yeah.
Well, let me flip it back to us. But anyway, so the whole point is we connect you with the resources you need. And as it turns out, they needed resources like they needed pods because they didn't have a house to buy up north. And they were going, when they moved up there, they actually lived with his parents for a short period of time before they found a rental. And they, that was what they did. And so they needed a place to store their belongings. So we made sure they got into a pod. We made sure that they got connected with people to help with the carpeting, people to help. We connected them. I think we connected them with our cleaner.
One of our channels isn't working.
Oh, which one's not working?
The Facebook TAMT Homes.
Facebook
It's
TAMT
coming up
Homes?
as an error.
Oh, dear. Well, I don't know if there's anything I can do about that on the fly, but we'll see. TAMT Homes is coming as an error. Why don't you, I know what the problem is.
Well,
Well, because I restarted it. So probably started a new stream.
so should I start?
Where
a
are you?
restream?
Are you in Restream?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just leave it.
Oh, no, we have someone in.
So Russ is looking at the chat right now. It doesn't say there's an error on the main channel.
No, and we have someone on YouTube now.
On YouTube that's watching.
Yes.
Excellent. That's great. So if you want to drop some questions in the chat as to what resources do you need, any resources. So maybe the question is, what resources do you need? And how can they help? And how can we help you? Because that's kind of what we do, right, Russ?
Yeah.
I've turned the camera to you and then you just were sitting there.
Sorry, I was just checking, monitoring, because now we have more people.
Well, that's great.
Yes.
That's awesome. So obviously it is working after all. But nobody seems to be
Still
talking.
no one from Facebook.
All right, but nobody's talking at the moment.
because
That's
that's
all
still
right.
down.
So, are there resources that you need? Drop a question in the chat. Like we said, we've already talked about things like Don's Electric, Chris the Plumber, Shannon from Carpet
Shannon.
City.
He does
um,
any flooring, so
Bob,
not just
the
carpet.
Wood Guru, and what was really
Yeah.
funny was, and we have finished a lot of our stuff, and we
Kitchen,
actually know,
yeah.
our kitchen, a lot of it's finished. All the cabinets are up. For those of you who've been following that as well, all the cabinets are up.
Yeah, we got it finished just in time for our visitors at the weekend.
Yep.
So,
Yep. So all the cabinets are up. The vent fan is up.
yes,
The
it
ventilator.
is.
That was
Yes.
awesome. That looks really cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to show some pictures of that. But
Yeah.
what we haven't done yet is the tile is not up. The tile
No, I haven't
backsplash.
put the tile in.
So maybe we'll wait till you get the tile
side
backsplash up.
panels
Yeah.
and the flooring.
And the flooring. The flooring's
Yes.
a big one because you have to level the floor and everything.
Yeah.
So we still have to level part of the floor that doesn't have cabinets on it, and that's going to be a bigger project from downstairs. So, but I think that's it. Do we have any questions or comments from anybody asking for any resources?
No comments.
Okay. Well, the cool thing is, guys, if you do see this later, go ahead and drop a line in the chat, and we'll be happy to connect you with resources. Because the reality is we were able to connect Melissa and Ryan. They got a great price for their house, way more money than they ever thought they were going to get, because they just did a little bit of extra work. And they contacted some of these resources. I think they spent probably all of about maybe $1,000 total with the stuff they did in the kitchen and getting rid of the carpeting and just like the touch-up paint and all the little things, having a professional cleaner come in, all those resources. I believe they spent less than $1,000, and they ended up walking away from the transaction with about 70 grand in their pocket, something like that. Because that was really amazing, because they had bought quite a few years ago at a really inexpensive price when the market was really low.
That's good.
But then they had developed that whole upstairs as well themselves. So they had already put in that extra air conditioning unit and things like that. But they didn't have much of a yard. They did have a great garage, though. They had a great garage.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, they did.
yeah, so if you guys need any resources, just let us know. You can always find us. We're going to throw up our phone numbers here at the end. So if you do have any questions, just let us know, and we'll be happy
Yep.
to help you.
We can answer them afterwards or now.
Yeah. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. We're trying to keep our broadcasts a little bit shorter and more to the point. And just like when we've said what we have to say, then we finish and we're done.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, for those of you that might be wondering, I am actually growing my hair out, and I'm not dyeing it anymore. So this red head is turning into a gray head.
Yeah.
And, you guys may not have noticed, because he just started doing this like a couple of days before our friends arrived. And it didn't show on last week's broadcast, but Russ is growing up his winter beard, which is just in time, because this
Yeah.
week it got really cold.
So that's going to be grey as well.
Oh, yeah. That's a
to
bit
match
gray.
Kimberly's hair.
Yes. So my hair and his beard will all be matchy-matchy
Yeah.
in a few months here. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. Otherwise, we will see you next week. Bye for now.
Bye.